And now,
the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. Come with me, my friends. We shall descend to the world of the unknown and forbidden, down to the depths where the veil of time is lifted, and the supernatural reigns as king. Come with me and listen to the tale of the Shadow People.
Elaine, have you seen anything else since you spoke to me last?
No, I haven't. Ever since Mother died, nothing's happened.
Well, I only hope that... It came from upstairs. Come on.
Oh, you don't
I don't know what to
think.
think. I only hope that...
David, if anything's happened to him...
We'll see in a moment.
There's no light in this room.
You wait here, Elaine. Where's the light?
Over to your left. David, what's wrong? Why didn't you leave the light on?
Your father's dead, Elaine.
in just a moment, the Hall of Fantasy will present The Shadow People. And now for our story. An original tale of fantasy by Richard Thorne entitled The Shadow People.
Somewhere along the line of your life, you've met them. You have come in contact with the Shadow People. When did we first discuss it? Oh, yes, Brian and Elaine and I. It was in my apartment. There was only one light on in the entire place. What's wrong? Elaine, what's the matter?
Oh, it's silly, I know, but I thought I saw something in that doorway over there.
Where?
Over there, right over there. Where are you going, David?
Over to that archway, just to let you know that nothing's here.
Huh. You see, Elaine, nothing's wrong, nothing at all.
Are you satisfied that there's no one else here but us?
Yes, I'm sorry. I just thought that Leave the overhead lights on.
I'm sorry. I thought that...
Put them back on, David, please.
All right, Elaine.
Look, what's bothering you, sis?
I don't know. It's just that... I don't know.
Tell us about it, Elaine. Tell us what's bothering you.
You promise that you won't laugh at me?
Of course not.
Brian?
Oh, Elaine, I'm your brother. If something's troubling you, I'd like to know about it.
All right, then. The reason I was so upset was the fact that I saw someone or something standing in that archway.
But, Elaine, David showed you that there was no one else in here. When the lights were put on, you saw for yourself that we were alone.
I'm not talking about something you can see in the light, Brian. I'm not talking about a human being.
Then what's it all about, Elaine?
In the darkness, I saw something that can't be seen in a lighted area. And I've seen it several times before.
You're sure you're not imagining this, Elaine?
Oh, I don't have that good an imagination, Brian.
How long have you seen this thing, Elaine?
Well, it started about 6 weeks ago. You were in Detroit on business, Brian. Mom and Dad were on vacation. I was in the house by myself, in the library. There was only one light on. I sat in the chair beneath it, reading. Several times I thought that something was watching me. I felt there was someone in the room with me, standing right in back of me. Every so often I'd glance back over my shoulder, but there seemed to be nothing there. And then I thought I heard someone whispering. I wasn't sure, but when I heard it again, I got up and I looked all over the house. Oh, I'm not easily frightened, you know that, but out in the hallway, it was almost entirely black. Luckily, I was near a light switch. I looked back over my shoulder, and I saw this huge, hulking shape for the first time. And I heard a voice. Or rather, the whisper of a voice. I couldn't distinguish the words, but that dark shape seemed to be moving towards me. My hand was on the light switch, and I turned it on. In a minute, the light flooded the hallway. The shape was gone. There was nothing there. I was alone again. As long as there's light, I know it can't hurt me. I know it can't reach me.
You might have imagined it, you know.
Of course, that's possible, but I'm sure I didn't. It was so real. So real, that shape in the darkness. It was the very essence of evil itself.
There was an old man I knew of, a Dr. Heselius. I'd heard that he knew quite a good deal about the supposed supernatural manifestations which had taken place in the world. I went to him to see if he knew anything that might explain the events of the story Elaine had told us.
Yes, my good sir. What do you wish?
I have an appointment with Dr. Heselius.
Oh, yes. He mentioned something about it. You are Mr. Drake.
Yes.
If you'll come inside.
Thank you.
Dr. Heselius is in the study. Please come with me. Doctor, a visitor for you.
Oh, yes. Bring him in. You may go now.
Yes, Doctor.
Mr. Drake?
Yes.
Sit down, please, in that chair over there.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what is the nature of your visit to me?
Well, I understand, Dr. Heselius, that you have a great knowledge of the supernatural manifestations which have occurred on the earth.
Great knowledge, Mr. Drake? No, hardly that. I have only scratched the surface in my years of study. Perhaps I can help you. Then again, perhaps I cannot.
Well, may I tell you the story?
By all means, my good sir.
All right. Now, this didn't happen to me, Doctor, but to my fiancée. It seems that about 6 weeks ago, when she was alone. But when the light was on, the dark form disappeared. And that's the story, sir. As much of it as I can remember.
I see. It's a strange tale you tell.
I'm fully aware of that, Dr. Heselius.
You say she seemed to hear whispered voices?
Yes, that's what she says.
I see. A moment, please. I have a book in my file. Oh, yes. Here it is. This is the one. Yes. Perhaps I may be able to help you after all. Let me see. This is a very ancient book, Mr. Drake. I seem to remember... Yes. Here is an account of a happening such as you relate. And we shall live on the earth, and they shall
not see us. Yes, it has been foretold by the ruler of the darkness. They who live by day, retire to sleep by night, shall never know that we walk with them, that we watch them, that we wait for our chance. Only in the night will they see us, for in the daylight we are not seen. Only in the night, when the darkness grows together and the forms of the shadow people are shaped from the blackness, they will know us.
Then they will know that we are their companions, for we are the shadow people. I knew I had read something similar to the story you have told me, Mr. Drake.
Dr. Heselius, what can we do?
Well, give me a little time. Let me see if I can find any more references to these people of the darkness. One more thing, Mr. Drake. Be sure that your fiancée is never left alone at night. Be sure that there is some living thing, animal or human, which accompanies her every second of the night. For she is in danger, Mr. Drake. A terrible danger.
Back now to our story. An original tale of fantasy by Richard Thorne entitled The Shadow People.
That night, the night of the day I had seen Heselius, Elaine's mother died. She died in her sleep. When she failed to appear for breakfast, Elaine's father went upstairs to see what was wrong. When he entered her room, he discovered that she was dead. The family doctor couldn't explain it, for Elaine's mother had been in perfect health. A few weeks later, I was out at the house spending a weekend with them. I glanced at the clock on the mantel, and it showed 11.
I can't understand why Brian hasn't returned from town.
Well, he said he had some extra work to catch up on. He told me this morning that he might be late.
Well, 11 o'clock. I'm going upstairs. Glad you came out, David. It's good seeing you again.
It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Well, don't stay up too late. See you both in the morning. Good night.
Night, Dad.
Good night, Mr. Davis.
He isn't the same, David. Ever since Mother died, he hasn't been the same.
I didn't realize that until tonight. He's changed.
I only hope that he'll start living again. Ever since she died, it seems that a part of him died with her.
Elaine, have you seen anything else since you spoke to me last?
No, I haven't. Ever since Mother died, nothing's happened.
Well, I only hope. Came from upstairs. Come on.
You don't think...
I don't know what to think. I only hope...
David, if anything's happened to it...
We'll see in a moment.
There's no light in his room.
You wait here, Elaine. Where's the light?
Over to your left. David, what's wrong? Why didn't you leave the light on?
Your father's dead, Elaine. I'd walked into the darkened bedroom. On the bed was Elaine's father. It didn't take a second look for me to know that he was dead. I switched off the light and walked back into the hallway to tell Elaine what happened. And then from the room there had come an eerie, quiet laughter. In the darkness of that room was some unknown evil power. The voice itself was unearthly. There was no substance to it. It sounded as if it came from the darkness itself.
No. No, I don't believe you.
It's the truth, Elaine. There's nothing more I can do. We'll have to notify the police.
Tell me it's not the truth, David. Tell me it's not true.
I'm sorry, Elaine. I wish I could. Your father's dead. After the burial, Dr. Heselius got in touch with me. He said that he wanted to meet both Elaine and Brian, that he wanted to talk to the three of us. Accordingly, a few nights later, he came out to their house.
Miss Davis, will you tell me just when you saw the first manifestation?
The night Brian was in Detroit.
Now, Miss Davis, you have even seen this apparition in the company of other people, is that correct?
Yes. The night at David's apartment.
All right. Now I'll tell you what I think. You are in deadly danger, Miss Davis. These beings want to claim you. So far, they have had no success. Only in the darkness do they have power. Little by little, step by step, they have been removing the obstacles in their way to reaching you. First your mother, and then your father, Miss Davis. Both died in the same fashion. In the darkness, death struck at them. Now tell me, do you feel their presence here in this room as I talk to you?
Yes.
Turn out the lights, Brian.
No.
Stand by the switch, if you please, Brian. If anything happens, turn the lights back on.
All right.
Dr. Heselius, I don't...
Do you want me to continue working with you?
Yes, sir.
All right, then. Brian, turn off the lights.
Yes, Doctor.
The room now is in darkness, Miss Davis. Do you feel or see anything?
No, Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you see anything?
Yes.
Doctor, I don't...
Be quiet, you fool. I know what I'm doing.
In front of me. The darkness gathering together into a huge, terrible...
Not only do you see us, Miss Davis, but everyone else in the room also will see the vague shapes forming themselves in the blackness. We do not want you, Dr. Heselius. The girl we want. We advise you to drop this case. You'll only bring down the wrath of the shadow people upon your head. The girl. We want the girl. Do not stop us. Let us take her now.
Turn on the light.
They're gone.
Miss Davis, are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Just as she said. The darkness. I saw it form into something, too.
So did I. What are we going to do, Dr. Hecelius?
At the present moment, I don't know. But this much I do know. You must leave this house immediately. You must try to get out of their reach. I don't know if that is possible. I hope it is. I shall have to return to my home. I must learn if there is some manner by which we can defeat these creatures. For the moment, leave this house. Dispose of it in any manner you may see fit, but leave this house.
Back now to our story. An original tale of fantasy by Richard Thorne entitled The Shadow People.
We spent the night in my apartment, the three of us. The following day, Brian and Elaine made arrangements to dispose of the house. In the afternoon, Dr. Hecelius called me and asked that I come to see him.
David, I'm glad you're here.
Anything new, Doctor?
Yes and no. You realize, of course, that this spiritual manifestation is not new, that it has gone on for centuries.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
It's true, David. De Maupassant wrote what was supposedly a fiction story about the manifestation, David. He called it the Orla. However, according to the information here on my desk, it was taken from an actual case history. Of course, he embroidered the story, added a few touches to something he didn't realize actually existed.
But have you found anything with which we can fight them?
Everything depends upon an answer I received from a colleague of mine in Paris, Dr. Henri Renaud. I dispatched a telegram to him last night.
Why hasn't he answered by now?
There are certain things that must be done. It will take a few days, I'm afraid. We have to wait, David. There's nothing else we can do.
In the next few days, the house was sold, and Brian and Elaine moved into a newer, more modern home a few miles from my apartment. Cecilia said it might take a few days for them to build up their power. I spent the nights at the new house. The lights were left on, and I watched for any unusual occurrence. In the daytime, I'd return to my apartment and get some sleep. About 4 days after Elaine and Brian moved into the new house, I was at home when Hecelius phoned me. Hello?
David?
Yes, Dr. Hecelius?
I hate to tell you this, David.
What's the matter? What's wrong?
They were a step ahead of me, David. I just received word that Renaud died or was killed. At the very moment I sent the telegram to him.
Step by step, they had outwitted us. For they had anticipated every move we'd make. Even Dr. Hecelius was at a loss as to what to do. He agreed to meet me at the Davis house.
What did you want to see us about, Dr. Hecelius?
Did you find out anything more?
I'm sorry to say that I haven't. At the moment, I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what to do.
But what did you want to see us about this evening?
Merely to check, to see if anything else has happened. Miss Davis, have you seen or heard anything?
Not in the house, only in my dreams.
Your dreams?
Yes. When I go to sleep at night, in my dreams, in the darkness, I see them.
And it's grown worse, much worse. I was hoping that it would not have progressed so far. There has been no disturbance in this house, but now they disturb your sleep, Miss Davis. Now, you must stay awake for as long as you can. I want the three of you to move into my house. Perhaps that will give you more protection.
That night, we moved over to Hecelius' house. Perhaps Elaine would have more protection there. From there, we might be able to devise some plan of action, some way to beat those beings. For a few days, things were quiet. The shadow people seemed to have withdrawn. For a while, I thought that we might have succeeded in thwarting their purpose. Elaine no longer complained of troubled sleep. But that condition lasted for a few days only. About 10 days later, they made themselves known and felt again. That night, we were in the study, when suddenly Hecelius whirled around and...
Elaine, what are you looking at?
Outside the house. Right where the light waves off, I see them.
She's right, Dr. Hecelius. I can see them, too.
What should we do, Doctor?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
There's nothing we can do.
We can't just...
We can't do anything, Brian. Don't you understand that they have us at their mercy? Greatest man in my field was Henri Renault. If he could do nothing against them, what do you think we can do?
He's right, Brian. There's nothing we can do.
As long as the house remains lighted, just so long will they remain outside. If the lights were to...
That sounds...
When my father was killed, the same sound. We heard the same sound.
The lights. What's happened to the lights, all right?
Be quiet, please. I thought of this emergency.
A candle.
That's right, Miss Davis. As long as this burns, this one candle will be safe. For they cannot advance into the light. They are limited by the darkness. As long as the candle burns, they will have to remain outside of this room.
Around you, in every room of the house, in the darkness outside, we are around you. This time you shall not escape. This time we will blame you.
Take it easy, Brian. I can't stand it. I'm getting out of here.
Brian, come back.
Don't be a fool. I'm going after him.
Stay here.
We just can't let him
He
go.
won't have a chance. I doubt it. Miss Davis, I'm afraid that your brother is dead.
The wind, Doctor. Listen to the wind.
I know.
Yes, Doctor. Listen to the wind. You must realize by now that the three of you haven't a chance. You must know in your minds that we can destroy you at any moment we desire. But, Dr. Hecelius, you may still save your own life. Let the others go. Give them to us.
No. No, you will have to take all of us.
Shall we destroy your light? Shall we move in on you now?
As you will. Do as you will. I'm sorry, David. The candle is out.
In the darkness. The figures in the darkness. We warned you, Hecelius. You and the others are dead now. And we shall live on the earth. And man in the day shall not see us. They will know that we wait for our chance. That we walk with them. Only in the night, when the darkness grows together, and the forms of the shadow people are shaped from the blackness, will they see us. Then they will know that we are their companions. Look next to you. There, in the shadows.
So runs tonight's tale of the unusual, the terrifying, the unknown. Join us again when next we journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to hear another strange tale of the supernatural.
All characters and events portrayed in these programs are fictional, and any similarity to actual events or persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
Man lives in a world of time and space. He lives in a spectrum of the universe. When he ventures beyond this limit, he is in the unknown, a realm where strange forces are brought into play. When man attempts to misuse these forces, he is sometimes destroyed. This is Macabre. The Far East Network presents, in special performance, Macabre. Tonight's story, The Man in the Mirror.
These freeways, always working on them. Only 2 lanes here. Why can't they make their repairs on off hours? No, gotta blast away during rush hour traffic. What's the matter with that guy ahead? How come he's slowing down? That'll teach him. Boy, I'm tired. Hard day at the office. Peg's got a hot supper waiting at home. I'd like to get there sometime today. That guy ahead didn't pay any attention to me at all. Come on, Buster, speed it up. Series 6, I want to get home. Okay, I'll pass you then. My 4-barrel car will leave you with nothing flat, buddy. How's that for speed, eh? Hey, truck. I can see it coming. I'll make it back head on collision. Oh, no. Can't get away.
Clear this area. Man trapped in a car here. Stand back. Everybody. Get a cutting torch, Joe. Hold that crowd, boys. We need room to get back now. Move on.
You see him, Jerry?
So much blood. But I think he's bent over the steering wheel down there.
Shine that light where you mean.
Good. See him now?
Move your light up just a bit.
Like this?
Yeah. Hold it there. Good Lord.
What's wrong, man?
I hope you got a strong stomach, pal.
What's eating you?
Look down there. Where his face should be.
I don't see it at all.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Not a chance to save this one, nurse.
Careful. You may be conscious, Doctor.
I doubt it. Another minute or 2 and it'll be all over. Sponge the blood, please.
He's bleeding too fast.
Yes, poor fellow. Even if he lived, couldn't get through life like this.
Doctor, respiration irregular.
Won't be long, I'm afraid. Scalpel.
I can hear every word they're saying. I can't move. I'm paralyzed.
Scissors.
The accident. That truck. I know what happened.
Sponge.
Almost nothing left in my head. Don't give up, Doc. Try to save me.
Hemostat.
Respiration shallow.
Hardly worth the effort. Nothing can save this man.
Please, Doc, don't quit. I know you can't hear me, but please try. Help me, Doc. Don't shake your head. I'm not homeless. I want to live.
Doctor.
Yes.
Respiration stopped.
I see.
Don't give up. I want to live. I don't want to die.
Are you going to open his chest, Doctor?
Heart massage.
Yes.
Absolutely hopeless. There isn't a chance.
He may take another breath in a moment.
Another breath? Yes. Yes, I will. Don't give up. You'll see. I'll... breathe.
You'd better wash up, nurse.
Oh, don't leave.
A breath, Doctor.
Spasmodic. Probably his last.
Oh, I'm still alive, Doc. Try to save me. Help me, for God's sake.
Stethoscope.
Please don't let me die. I'm afraid. Why did I have to pass that car? I'd give anything to live it over again. Anything. Can someone help me? Oh, God.
Perhaps I can, John Randall.
call my name. Oh.
It was I, John Randall.
You're not the doctor.
Indeed, I'm not. Did I hear you say you would give anything not to die?
Yes, anything.
I thought so. John Randall, I'll save your life for a price.
Anything you
Let
say.
me finish. I can turn back the clock, return you to the freeway before the accident. It will be as if nothing had happened at all.
But that's impossible.
You haven't much choice, John.
It's crazy. How can you expect me to believe a thing like that?
Is he dead, Doctor?
I'll know in a moment, nurse.
You have no time to argue. Decide quickly. When you die, you'll be beyond my reach.
Oh, I'm sinking, growing weaker and smaller.
You're dying. Decide.
I will. It's a bargain.
Good. In just a moment, it'll be 1 hour ago. You'll be on the freeway driving home in your car. But remember, John Randall, I'll be back 1 week from tonight to settle.
Where will I find you?
In the mirror. Just look for me in your bedroom mirror. Goodbye, John. Don't forget our little agreement.
These freeways, always working on them. Only 2 lanes here. Why can't they make their repairs on off hours? No, gotta blast away during rush hour traffic. What's the matter with that guy ahead? How come he's slowing down? That'll teach him. Hey, just had one of those familiar feelings. As if this had happened before. Strange. Now it's gone. Seems I almost remembered something unpleasant. It's not to pass that car up ahead. I don't think I'd better. Wonder why. Can't remember. Way truck accident. That's it. I was killed in a collision. Yeah. Can't be. Couldn't have happened. I wouldn't be sitting here driving home. I dozed off for a minute, I guess. Yeah. Dreamed it. Sure. No other explanation. What a relief. I gotta get home. Peg's having steak for supper. And she's one wife who expects her husband to be on time.
My, you were hungry tonight, John. You ate like a condemned man at his last meal.
Hey!
Oh, I startled you, darling. Why so deep and quiet?
Nothing. Just thinking.
John, I honestly believe you've been working too hard, especially since you fell asleep driving home today. Oh, let's take a week off together and run down to Mother's.
A week?
Yes, dear. We haven't vacationed in 2 years, not since we were married. Mother says we can have the cottage on the lake.
You called your mother?
Just before you came home. Please, John. She wants us to come down. It's really a very nice lake, and you know how you like to fish.
I don't think the office can spare me.
Ask them.
It takes time. We need plans. I can't just pick up and leave my job anytime I want.
Say yes, darling. It'll be our second honeymoon, and I don't see much of you anymore.
Ah, Peg. What would I do without you?
Oh, not too well, I hope. Darling, I love you.
Come here.
Tell you what. Call that old law firm you slaved for and tell them not to expect you back for a week.
But, Peg, I...
John! This bruise. Did you hurt your forehead?
It's sore. Don't touch it.
How'd it happen?
I don't know. I probably banged it and I fell asleep driving home.
That settles it. I'll call Mother in the morning and tell her to expect us. You need more rest, darling. Why, one of these days you may be killed driving home in all that traffic. Read the paper now while I clear away the dishes.
All right, Peg. I'm overworking. That blackout on the freeway today. Not like me. This head bruise. I've never had an hallucination in my life. I won't start now. I'll check this thing out.
City Hospital.
Could you,
This is the city hospital. May I help you?
Yes. Would you check to see if a man hurt in a collision died there this afternoon?
What was his name, please?
Randall. John Randall.
Thank you. Just a moment.
This is ridiculous. Asking about my own death. Must be crazy. Got to know. To be sure. Couldn't have happened. It's all so real.
Hello?
Yes. Did you find it?
Emergency has no record of a John Randall accident victim.
No record? You haven't made a mistake?
No. Who's calling, please?
Who's calling? Lady, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
What's the matter?
Can't sleep. It's too hot, I guess.
It's nearly 5. Time to get up soon. Want some hot coffee?
No. Maybe I'll drop off for a nap.
You haven't slept all night?
I don't think so.
John, something must be wrong. You always sleep like a log.
Don't get excited now, Peg.
Shall I call the doctor? You know you've been working too hard.
No, I'm fine. Will you keep quiet so I can try to get some rest, though?
Oh, all right. You haven't said a thing about going to Mother's.
Peg, I'm dead tired now. Shut up, will you?
John, what's that on your forehead?
No tricks, young lady. Now turn over and keep quiet.
Darling, wait. I'll turn on the light. John! It's blood!
What?
Your forehead, it's bleeding.
No, Peg. No, it didn't happen. I imagined the whole thing. Accident really didn't happen.
Accident? John, you lie right there. I'll call Dr. Shane.
Don't, Peg.
You must have cut a vein. Look at your pillow. You've been bleeding all night.
I've examined you thoroughly, John. I can't find a thing really wrong. But we may have to go to my office for further tests.
Now, how do you explain the blood, Doc?
I don't. There's no evidence of a wound at all.
Where'd all this blood come from?
That presents a puzzle. Of course, we're not really certain it's really your own blood. We'll have to make tests. In the meantime, why don't you tell me the truth?
What are you talking about?
John, I've been your family doctor for many years. You're as healthy as they come. Now you hint of some accident that never happened. You complain of a soreness in the region of the forehead, and all this blood from some imaginary wound. Now, really, what do you expect me to think?
Doc, you think I'm crazy.
I didn't say that.
You don't have to.
There's more to this than meets the eye.
The understatement of the year.
Put yourself in my place. What would you say?
Send me to the hospital, I guess.
That's more like it. Now tell me what really happened. Start with the blood.
I can't answer that.
If you want me to help, you'll have to tell the truth.
I'm trying to, Doc.
It couldn't possibly have come from you.
But
There isn't a mark on your body. Who do you think you're kidding?
Impossible. Doc, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Yeah. Give it a try. I might.
Maybe I should have died on that operating table.
What?
All right. I'll tell you. You'll think I'm nuts, but so help me, it's the truth. All started yesterday, and I was driving home on the freeway. I thought I had an accident.
What do you mean, thought? Aren't you certain?
Let me finish, Doc. I hit this truck. They rushed me to the hospital. I was dying, face torn off, blood everywhere. And then, just before I died, a voice called to me. Knew my name and everything. He said he would save me for a price. I had to agree.
What did he ask?
Didn't say. Just said he'd be back in a week to settle.
Where are you supposed to meet this man?
That's the funniest part. He said to look in my bedroom mirror, and he'd be there.
Then what?
Found myself back on the freeway as if nothing had happened. I got home. I checked the hospital. They had no record of an accident victim with my name.
I could have told you that.
What do you think, Doc? I'm not trying to pull a fast one. I'm scared.
You blacked out for a moment while on the freeway. Fatigue from overwork.
I've ruled out the possibility of a small stroke. Recovery was too rapid.
Blacked out?
Fatigue acts in strange ways, John. Sometimes makes it difficult to separate fantasy from reality. You've pushed yourself to the breaking point. You'll have to be careful.
You don't believe it happened?
Yes, it certainly did. But only in your mind.
Sounds reasonable. What about my forehead? It's pretty sore.
Probably sympathetic.
That leaves the blood.
If it weren't for that, I'd dismiss you right now with just a warning to slow down. I'm taking a sample of it back to the office with me. I want you to come along.
What about Peg?
Leave her home. We'll call her later. There's something here I don't quite understand.
Hello?
Mrs. Randall?
Yes?
This is Dr. Shane.
Oh, how is John? What did you find out?
That's what I want to talk to you about. He's in the other room. He can't hear us.
Is it serious?
The blood on the pillow matches. It's his, all right. But I can't figure out where it came from. He checks normal in every way, with one exception.
Oh?
The results of the EEG test show a brainwave irregularity. Now, it would seem that John received a hard blow on the head. However, I can find no physical evidence to verify this.
What does it mean, Doctor?
Hard to tell at this point. I think he's nervously exhausted from overwork, practically in a state of shock from this nightmare of a freeway accident. And that's pure fantasy. You must help him overcome it, Mrs. Randall.
My mother wants us to visit her for a week on the lake.
Splendid. By all means, go and make John rest.
Do you think he'll be able to leave today?
The sooner the better. And Mrs. Randall.
Yes, Doctor.
Your husband has a fixation about some man in a mirror. It's a dangerous thing. It might grow. Try to convince him it never happened.
Oh, darling, we'll have so much fun.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Mother's given us the house on the lake where we can be all alone together.
Second honeymoon, Peg.
And we'll forget that thing on the freeway.
We'll forget it.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Oh, John, I'm so glad you're sensible about it.
Kiss?
Mm.
I love you, Peg.
Oh, I brought the tennis rackets.
She talks about tennis at a time like this.
Oh, let's hurry, darling.
Sure, Peg. We deserve one last good time together.
How about some more eggs?
Oh, thanks. Coffee would be nice, though.
Coming up. Oh, this country air is wonderful. 5 whole days of fishing, tennis, dancing, and fun.
Pass the donuts, Peg.
Yes, my lord master.
Hey, but you're pretty well trained. We'll have to relax like this more often.
Oh, darling, it's so good to see you laugh. We can't let you get down like that again, can we?
I wasn't so bad.
They'll miss you at that old law firm. John, if they don't make you a full partner, you're not going back.
Well, what'll we do today?
Oh, it's beautiful this morning. I know. Take me to the village to shop.
Okay. I'll get my coat, and off we go.
Honey, haven't you forgotten something?
What?
Mr. Randall, do you realize that in the 5 days we've been here, you haven't shaved once?
I know, Peg.
Well, look at yourself, dear. You'll have to before we go shopping. Here, take my compact and see how you look in the mirror.
No!
John, you ruined it. You deliberately threw it on the floor.
I'm sorry. Really, Peg.
But why? Oh, John, you didn't want to look in the mirror.
Peg.
Oh, what a fool I've been. You're not getting over it. It's growing worse.
Don't cry, darling. I'm trying.
You believe that man is real, don't you?
I don't want to, Peg. I don't want to.
Dr. Shane warned me about this. He said it's up to you, John. You have to make up your own mind. It's only fantasy. Or you might spend the rest of your life in that other world.
That bad?
Yes, darling. Please try.
It's like telling my right hand my left one doesn't exist.
Oh, you've got to try.
All right, I'll try.
Dr. Shane said if you give in, they'll have to take you away. John, are you feeling all right? Darling, why don't you answer? It's not daylight yet. He's not in bed. Where is he? John? John?
Shh. I'm here. By the window.
What's the matter, darling? Don't you feel well?
Quiet. Look out there. Can you see anything?
Just the lake, the moon, and the trees on the other side.
Shh. Listen. There is something out there.
Maybe a dog.
No. Dogs aren't that large.
What did you see?
I can't be sure. When I woke up, a shadow was at this window.
My poor darling.
Don't pity me, Peg.
Well, Dr. Shane said fixations with a time limit usually leave after the limit has passed.
Shh. Be quiet.
There's nothing out there. Now come back to bed. This is the 7th and last day, darling. That man's not coming back because he never existed in the first place. Please, John, you just have to get by today, and then you'll be free. It's so peaceful on the porch here by the lake. What's the time?
Almost 7. Time's passed. We're safe.
John, I'm proud of you. You won, darling. You stood your ground and won.
Yeah. Really a sweat, eh?
It's just had to end this way. No one believes in witches and phantoms anymore. We're too scientific.
Yeah. I can think clearly for the first time in a week, now that it's over.
Oh, we have this wonderful lake all to ourselves tonight. Mother went to the village, and no one for miles around. Isn't it romantic?
Thanks for standing by me.
Is that a proposal, sir?
Darling. Huh. What'd you like to do this evening?
Walk around the lake?
Hey, not bad. Hold on while I get some cigarettes in the bedroom.
All right.
I didn't cut an artery. It's the devil's work. He's here. You don't have to hide. I know you're here.
My. Quite messy.
You did come back. Where are you?
In due time, friend. You didn't expect me to forget our appointment, did you?
I'm bleeding to death. You haven't helped me a bit.
You were badly mashed up. Difficult to remove all the traces.
What is it you want?
Merely as a timekeeper. To say, time's up.
Dr. Shane says you're a figment of my imagination.
So,
you're not real.
And how do you know Dr. Shane is real?
Because I can see him and talk to him.
Can you not talk to me?
I've never seen you.
Look into that mirror.
Oh.
Look!
Good Lord.
You're a strange lot. You deny the existence of other worlds because you cannot see them. Have you ever seen a thought in your head? Of course not. Does that make it less real?
I don't owe you a thing.
Your agreement was for 1 week of life. That has been fulfilled. You should have followed your destiny and died in the accident. But you chose another path and bargained with me.
My life is over.
Will you join me in the mirror?
Mrs. Randall, I'm the coroner. You know, of course, your husband's dead. Don't see how he could have had such a terrible accident in a bedroom. Main point I can't figure, though, is why you didn't call me sooner. Mr. Randall's been dead a week.
You have just heard Macabre, a special Far East Network presentation. In our cast were John Buey as the Man in the Mirror, Mitzi Hennessy as Peg, William Verdier as John, Walt Sheldon as Dr. Shane, Carolyn Johnston, and Milton Radmilovich. Technical supervision was by Airman Larry Clemens and Air Force Sergeant Bob Eddy. This is Air Force Sergeant Al LePage speaking. Macabre was written and directed by William Verdier.
Macabre comes to you each week at this time through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.